So with Chumbak, this is typically not the style of presentation that I follow. Normally, I have a brief about what my role was, what kind of project it was, and so on and so forth. And it's normally very textured, followed by the final visuals, by the final designs. But with Chumbak, since this was graphic design, I decided to change it up a bit and keep it a little more. Um, I mean, like these are literally just images that I've uploaded. That is not what I normally do. So with Chumbak, I was working as a design intern with the branding and marketing team for about 3 months. This was right after my second year of college. So please refrain judgment. I wasn't very good back then. So a little more about the role is that Chumbak is a design first lifestyle brand. They started off with a very quirky, edgy look to their products, but over time they kind of started veering towards something that's a little more minimal. When I joined, that's when they started pivoting towards something that's a little more minimal, right? Like, so they were making that transition, and that was a very interesting thing to watch. So, in fact, that's why I wrote similar to Kat Kitston, even though originally that is not what their brand was. So, throughout my internship, it was about 2 months, I did some visuals for the store. I worked on social media posts and newsletters. I worked on brand rebranding, and I worked in a very cross-functional team. So even though I was a part of the marketing team, I also worked with illustrators from the visual design, from the home decor team and from the illustration team. I worked with the e-commerce team, I worked with sales, and I worked with developers even. So it was a very out of my league role because that was not something that I was used to at all. And then in terms of work, as I said, I did marketing, newsletters, branding, social media, and in-store communications. So I typically structure my portfolio in this way where like I give some context before diving into anything deeper. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now, right? So I have work and marketing, newsletters, branding, and social media. So right now I'll be getting into marketing newsletters because that was where the crux of my time was spent. And that's also where I had more measurable outcomes. So with this project, what we did was we tried several different approaches to see what people would engage with the most. So the first approach was multiple products versus individual products. The hypothesis over there was if you present users with different options, would they go for that? Or if you present them with one option, does that sort of target their focus and target their attention towards this one thing and increase the click-through rates then? And then the next was whether or not to reveal the prices beforehand. Again, the hypothesis over there was if we do reveal the prices, do they just get intimidated and be like, okay, that's a lot, that's too much, I can't afford this, and back away right then? Or does it seem like, okay, this is something that's affordable to me, so do I just click through and go to the next, go onto the website? So we actually saw higher click-through rates when we didn't reveal the products prices as opposed to when we did. That might have been because of how Chumbak has priced their products versus how much their audience is actually willing to spend. And the third was sales. So during sales, we also tried several different strategies because this was something that kept happening. I remember for about 3 weeks, we just had sales on and on and on and on. So we tried several strategies over there, and we realized that a simple, bland newsletter that literally screamed what was going on got the best response. And finally, we had this pet-friendly stance. That was where I think that was where the branding influence came in. Yeah. Because this is something that Chumbak is known for, right? Even if you look through their Instagram stories, you can just see dogs running around. And bringing this aspect in really hiked up our click-through rates because this is something that their audience very clearly relates to. This is something that they are putting forth as their best foot forward. So yeah, that was the first part of my internship, and these experiments essentially saw a rise in engagements from 3% to 5% by the end of the month. And so basically what I just did over there was that I tried to keep the meat of my work right on top and then follow it up with some almost fluff pieces, things that I haven't worked on as extensively, things that were more like side projects to show breadth.
Okay.
So that's what I've done over here. So these are a couple of Instagram stories that I worked on. These are trial room hangers. We try to keep it very bubbly and
Yeah.
cute,
It
right?
does look really
But
nice.
without, huh?
It does look really nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But we also wanted to do that without bringing in the influence of old Chumbak, which was the quirkier side. And then there were just a bunch of other marketing campaign
Right.
products that I designed. These were again like the same theme. Quite frankly, it didn't feel like a lot of work by this point because like Chumbak is the kind of brand where like once you've established this um, a baseline of what the brand looks like, you're kind of just doing the same thing over and over again. So that's kind of what was happening over here with my internship. I felt like by this point I'd completely understood what the requirements were, what kind of colors were okay, what kind of colors were not, and what kind of even iconography and spacing and hierarchy was required.
Right.
And here is a couple of really bad pictures of what my decks look like. So there you can see the sailboards, you can see the buy to get to things on
Yeah.
the go and so on. And I followed this up with recommendation from the brand manager. So
Okay.
she was quite happy with the work I did, and she offered to write something, and I put it up.
That's
But
really
I kind of regret that now because it was tacky. So yeah.